Welcome, fight fans, once again to Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, home of the 2021 PFL playoffs, and coming up on October 27th, home to the 2021 PFL World Championship. Hello, everybody. Sean O'Connell here at the podium, excited for another pre-fight press conference. This, the third of 3 in a row, playoff semifinal events tonight. We'll be talking to some featherweights and light heavyweights. They take the smart cage on Friday to keep the hopes alive for a $1 million PFL World Championship. Professional Fighters League is the only MMA league with a true sports format. Regular season, playoffs, that's where we're at now, and an eventual World Championship. And our regular season matchups have delivered us an incredible fight card coming up on Friday night. And we take a look at it here. Win or go home for the featherweights. Win or go home for the light heavyweights. Some familiar faces and some newcomers looking to make their name in the world of mixed martial arts. Take a look at our light heavyweight playoff bracket. The 1 versus 4, this is a classic matchup. Not only grappler versus striker, but Brazil versus Argentina. Historic rivalry there. And in the 2-3 matchup, Cesar Fejera versus Marthin Hamlet. 2 powerful athletes taking their chance at a trip to the championship. Fighting first, our number 3 seed out of the blue corner and representing Tønsberg, Norway, Marthin Hamlet. Impressive second-round submission in his PFL debut. He is the first Norwegian on our PFL roster. He's also a 7-time Norwegian wrestling champion. His opponent fights out of Boca Raton, Florida, represents his home country of Brazil, Cesar Fejera. Similar to Marthin Hamlet, big knockout victory, fast finish in his first fight of the PFL regular season. In fact, the second fastest knockout in PFL light heavyweight history. Former training partner of our very own Randy Couture as well. That's one half of the light heavyweight bracket. On the other side is that Argentina-Brazil matchup that I promised. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, the grappling specialist, Shoeface, Antonio Carlos Jr. 9 of his 11 career wins come via submission. 6 of those in the very first round. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and world champion, highly decorated grappler. And the number 4 seed, fighting out of Rio Cuarto, Cordoba, Argentina, Emiliano Sordi. Sordi is the 2019 PFL light heavyweight champion. 22 of his 23 career wins come via stoppage. And back in 2019, it was 5 fights, 5 finishes in the most dominant season we've had in PFL history for Emiliano Sordi. There's our featherweight playoff bracket. A $1 million world championship on the line in these 2 matchups, at least a trip to that championship bout. 1 versus 4, Brendan Loughnane versus Movlid Khaybulaev promises fireworks. And in the 2 versus 3 matchup, a little animosity between the 2 Americans, both wrestlers. Our first featherweight to the press conference, number 3 seed, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Virginia Beach, Bubba Jenkins. Division I NCAA wrestling champion at Arizona State University, former Brave featherweight champion, Bubba Bad Man Jenkins, the favorite going into this semifinal bout. His opponent, fighting out of Long Island, Chris Wade. This is Chris Wade's third trip to the PFL semifinals, twice as a lightweight. He moves down to featherweight and once again finds himself a single fight away from a PFL World Championship opportunity. And capping the night off will be this main event at 145 pounds. Movlid Khaybulaev and Brendan Loughnane. Fighting out of Manchester, England, in the blue corner, Brendan Loughnane. Seven-fight win streak for Loughnane. 2 wins in this regular season. First round knockout, and one of the fights of the season in a victory over Tyler Diamond. 11 career wins by knockout. 7 of those come in the first round for Brendan Loughnane. And the number 4 seed, representing the incredible fight lineage of Dagestan, Russia, Movlid Khaybulaev. Undefeated in 19 professional bouts, owner of the fastest stoppage in PFL history, 10-second flying knee knockout that you've seen on all the highlight reels. The fighters are here, which means we now open things up for questions from the gathered media and all of you watching worldwide.
Mystic Black Darnell Giovanni here. Chris, first question for you. You fought in the UFC before, now you're in the PFL. Do you think more promotions should inherit this $1 million prize and probably bring in more fighters as well?
I do. I just think that I'm a big follower of major sports, baseball, football, everything in America. And the American fans and fans globally, they like to see a regular season and they like to see a playoff where titles are on the line each and every season, not where someone gets a hold of a title and a belt and then they play games with it. They take injury time and they try to kind of like bask in the fact that they're the champion and string it along. So I think that the PFL has a leg up on everyone else with this format.
Next question is for Bubba. Bubba, Chris was quoted saying that you were not a complete mixed martial artist and that you're just going to hold him down for 2 rounds and in the 3rd round, probably just gas out. What's your response to that?
I'm not a big fan of what Chris Wade has been saying about me, as some of us have taken note. He keeps talking about the fact that it's mixed martial art. At the end of the day, it's a fight. I'm going to come to the center of the cage and punch Chris Wade right in his mouth. And there ain't going to be no mixed martial art wrestling. There ain't going to be none of all that talk. It's going to be fighting. And he might not see a mixed martial artist, but this fighter is more than that. I am simply more of a warrior than he has ever grasped.
Thank you. And for Brendan, you train in a couple different gyms, sparred with Peter Yan. There's people in mixed martial arts that have said, if you go to too many gyms, that's going to kind of ruin your game. How do you think it's helped your game?
No, I've always gone in search of the best competition, whether it be in Thailand, whether it be in Dubai, whether it been in the States. I've sparred numerous UFC champions and moved around a lot, and I always move where the best work is. I'm not scared of hard work. I knew I was going to fight a guy who's got good wrestling, so I brought in the NCAA champion to help me wrestle. Like, I don't cut corners, so I believe that that's helped me in this fight.
And for Movlid, you beat Lance Palmer in your last fight. Do you feel that was the biggest win of your career, and how would that $1 million change your life?
Мавлид, следующий вопрос для вас. Первый вопрос. В прошлом бою вы победили Лэнса Палмера. Как для вас, вы считаете, это был самым главным на данный момент боем в вашей карьере? И второй вопрос. Если вы возьмете этот миллион, какие ваши планы, как вы планируете его потратить?
Для меня каждый бой важен, я не смотрю, он чемпион или просто рейтинговый бой. Настраиваюсь психологически, серьезно, на победу только. А по поводу денег, когда они у меня будут, тогда я разберусь, как их потратить.
And last one for Carlos. You're fighting.
Any fight for me is a big fight in my career. It doesn't matter who the opponent is or where I stand. I know I've done a lot of fights and there are many more to come. So, psychologically and physically, I prepare for each one of them equally. And regarding the money, it's the question I will think about once I have it. I'll find the proper way to spend it.
And for Carlos, you're fighting at 205 now. You used to fight at 185. You win this competition. You see yourself going down to 185 and taking that belt as well?
Never again, man, especially because we don't have 185 here, but drop down to 185. I think was a mistake for a very long time, I think 205, I can perform way better here.
Hey, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. First question is for Bubba. Bubba, you're a NCAA national champ in wrestling. Chris Wade is a state high school champ in wrestling. How do you see the wrestling exchanges going, and how much wrestling do you think we'll see in this bout?
Well, usually when you get wrestlers to fight each other, we usually stand up. I think it'll go very much like the Palmer fight went. I think I'm going to stand in the middle, send some bombs at his head, and he's going to run for the rest of the fight.
Thank you. And Chris, for you, you said that anyone who knows anything about fighting should know that Bubba can't be the clear favorite, and that at best it should be like a coin toss. Could you elaborate on that and why you believe your style matches up so well with Bubba?
Well, like he said, when you have two wrestlers, what happens a lot of the time is you're forced to stand up and to fight, because the other wrestler can stop a lot of stuff that a striker can't stop. So in fights where he and I have been in, where we have just strikers, we take them to the mat and we do as we will with them. Those are kind of like easier fights for us. These types of fights where you're forced into each other's face, they're going to be more physical. There's going to be more pressure. And that's what I mean by this being a toss-up. I don't understand. I'm a veteran in this sport too. We're talking about wrestling accolades from 11, 12 years ago, like it matters. And everybody that's sitting at this table knows that those accolades and the things that we did in other sports, in jiu-jitsu and in sambo, those are things that prepared us for these types of fights. But these are totally different. Mixed martial arts is a different thing altogether.
Thank you. And last one for Brandon. ESPN just wrote an article about your story and how the UFC didn't find you appealing enough to sign you after the Contender Series. How does it feel now to be in the PFL semifinals on the brink of fighting for a belt and $1 million?
It feels right. It feels righteous. It feels like this is exactly where I should be. I put my time into this sport, man. I've been 13 years deep in it. You know what I mean? It's about time I got the accolades I deserved. And I don't know. I think I'm the most experienced guy here. Really, 21-3. I've had a lot of fights apart from Emiliano, and I've had a lot as well. But I mean, it's my time. I've took my knocks, I've took my lumps, took my bumps. You look at guys like Jan Blachowicz, you look at Dustin Poirier, you look at the guys that have just stayed around, and that's what I've done. I've stayed around.
Jonathan Ramlakan, 5 Reasons Sports. This one's for Antonio. Typically in a playoff format, when you secure that #1 seed, you get an easier matchup. This time you pull a former champion in the first round. How will having a former champion in the first round and then another tough matchup in the second round elevate your game so we can see the best version of Antonio Carlos Jr.?
Can you repeat, sorry?
Yep. How will having that elevated competition allow us to see the best version of yourself in these playoffs?
Because I was trying to push myself hard, hard and train to do my best. I've been working on mixing up everything, getting better in every aspect of the fight. For sure, Emiliano is a very tough challenge, but I always work hard to be ready for whoever.
Thank you and good luck. For Emiliano, you're coming in as the reigning champion against someone who has no playoff experience. How will this experience in the PFL tournament format give you the edge in this fight?
Hey.
Emi, você vai lutar contra pessoa com muita experiência. Como é que você vê a sua experiência como
Ah, ele tem experiência, mas eu também eu tenho já umas 35 lutas ou mais, não sei o que. Mas eu acho que aqui no alto nível, todo mundo tem uma experiência muito longa no esporte. O outro esporte também bem de tipo jiu-jitsu, ele competiu muito no jiu-jitsu. Então, eu acho que todo mundo está bem preparado aqui, ninguém é um amateur, né?
He has a lot of experience with live. To get to this level, everyone has experience. One has.
Thank you. For Chris Wade, you were able to get your first knockout your last time out, and like you said, it felt like getting a monkey off your back. Do you feel like having that freedom will allow you to be a little more diverse and a little more free on the feet in this coming fight?
No, I don't think that what happened in the last fight really plays too much into this fight. He's a different opponent, and there's going to be different challenges and different opportunities that present themselves. I told everybody that it wasn't the first time I've finished or left somebody unconscious in a fight, so the feeling is the same. It felt good to get a KO, but it just shows that the hard work that I've been putting in on my feet over the last year and a half, basically since COVID, is paying off, and that I should continue to push myself down that path.
Thank you. And for Bubba, like you said, when you have two wrestlers going at it, we typically see a stand-up war. If you had to give us a prediction for this fight, what would you call?
I predict that I'm knocking Chris Wade's head off.
Thank you, sir, and good luck in your fight.
Alex Dono, 5 Reasons Sports. This is for Antonio Carlos. How does this fight week compare to previous ones you've had, since you're fighting so close to where you live and where you train? And do you feel like you can get some advantage here fighting locally, being able to sleep in your own bed in the buildup?
Man, it's awesome to fight in Florida. You know, the weather, I'm used to the weather and everything. The time difference is all the same. I just got my car and drive like 25 minutes to the hotel. So feeling feeling great for that. And my first fight in US was here actually. So great memories.
Thank you. I'll ask Cesar Fejera the same question. How nice is it to fight close to where you live and train? And can you get some advantage from that?
Oh yeah, it's almost the same thing as the Carl June just said. So nearby my house, I got my car here and drove to I live 30 minutes away from here, which is good. So on top of that, we have our teammates, our friend that's gonna be here to watch me fight and give me some support, which is really nice.
Thank you. And this one's for Bubba. Certainly very interesting, the buildup between you and Chris for this fight. You're a consummate professional, of course, but does it make it a little bit easier to get motivated for a fight when there's some animosity?
Absolutely. Lance Palmer and I go way back. So me and Palmer have been friends, and colleagues and compadres since we were 11, 12, wrestling in middle school tournaments. So to, come out and really try to take livelihood off of his, newly becoming dad stage. Well, it wasn't hard for me because I got children to feed too, but it when I saw him hurt or when he's doing a little bit of the runaround, a little bit of venom or a little bit of animosity maybe would have put a little gas on him. But because we were friends, I just kind of just let it, play out the way it played out. I don't know Chris Wade. I don't know Chris Wade from a hole in the wall. Chris Wade has known me for a long time, as he said in his interview. He's been watching me whoop ass for a long time. I don't know Chris Wade. When I get in there, I'm going to show y'all I don't know Chris Wade.
Thank you. And Chris, I'll ask you the same thing. This has been a really fun buildup between the two of you. Do you get any extra motivation?
Yeah, absolutely. You get extra motivation. As you know,
You don't sound that motivated.
I didn't cut you off, bro. I'm cutting weight. So, but I'll finish my sentence. Yeah, it's a lot of fun when a guy runs his mouth like this, because all that matters is when you lock the cage door. Whether he wants to drum something up or not. Listen, what are we going to say? You got guys asking questions of how are you going to finish a fight? What do you predict is going to happen? what are you gonna say? That you don't believe in yourself? You're gonna say that you think that you're gonna come out on top, because we all sit here and we all believe that. We believe in ourselves. So I have respect for this man, whether he thinks that I don't or that I do. The bottom line is I do. Any high level wrestler, I have a lot of respect for. So we're building up a fight, and we're gonna get in there, and we're gonna punch each other in the face. We're gonna kick each other in the face, and whoever can handle that longer is gonna come out the victor.
Thanks, guys.
Jade Ashford here with Full Sail. My question is for Cesar. I was wondering, what will this playoff fight mean for your home country, Brazil?
Sorry. It's mean a lot. It's a great opportunity. So to, to bring this belt to Brazil, and I had such a great training camp. I'm here well prepared, ready for everything. And I'm very confident that I will earn my spot in the finals and then bring this belt home.
All right, let's take it over to Zoom. Max, can you please start us off?
This is Max Going from the Going Live podcast. My first question is for Marthin. We've been sitting here for about 20 minutes now. You haven't been asked one single question. Do you feel that you are being overlooked in this tournament?
Yeah, I feel like, I always feel like since I came down here, little underdog. So, but that's good. I know Cesar is good. He's tough, but he will feel some Norwegian power on Friday.
And just to follow that up, where do you like, where in this matchup do you see the advantage for yourself?
Can you repeat that?
I was just wondering, where do you see the advantage in this matchup?
To be honest, I think me and Cesar it's a good matchup. It's not easy fight. I'm the only thing I can say. I've been prepared, done a lot of cardio, so I believe it will be a 3-round war. If not, the thing that can finish Cesar is a clean shot. So hopefully I can get that. But if not, it will be a 3-rounder, and you will see a lot of action.
Thanks so much, and good luck. And my last question is for Bubba. Everyone here in the featherweight playoffs is 2-0. Do you feel like the 145-pound division is the best in the PFL?
No, I can't say that it's the best. There's so many tough fighters. There's so many tough divisions, so many athletes that have been given their all and putting due diligence in. So I'm not going to sit up here and get, I know y'all like the way that I speak and it moves some of you, but I'm not going to get up here and get overly cocky and say, oh, the 45 division because I'm in and it's the best. Everyone up here in each respective division has paid their dues to call themselves some of the best fighters in the world, and each division carries that mantle.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, and good luck.
Curtis Calhoun, Zoom.
This is Curtis Calhoun with Low Kick MMA. My question is for Brendan Loughnane. Brendan, how much would that PFL belt mean to you, especially with the roller coaster you've been on, a little bit mentioned earlier? You've mentioned before how the belt means more to you, even more than the cash prize itself that comes with it.
I mean, yeah, that seems to be the vocal point now in every interview I do, that I said that. And if I told you I mean it, believe it, because I mean, that piece of metal, people will look at it as a piece of metal, but I look at it as a whole lifetime of blood, sweat, tears, hard work. I always said that money's a piece of paper and it comes in and out your hand, and it always will be, but that'll be a legacy that I'll die with.
And is it that much sweeter being able to be the #1 seed in this year's playoffs, especially after the cancellation of last season and the added time off?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like everyone's sleeping on me again, betting underdog. I'm the #1 seed out here. Like, I'm the one that got the only finish on the first fight. I'm the one that had the war in the second fight. I've shown everything. You want to take it deep waters, I'll go deep waters. And I can also show clean finishes. So, again, keep sleeping.
Thanks, Brendan. Appreciate it.
Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith. I'm getting real. My question is for Marthin. For you, you are one win away for going to the finals. Just in this moment, what would it mean for you through everything you have been through, the journey of your career, to go and get a chance to win it all?
It feels good to have that opportunity, especially now we are just 2 fights from to winning the whole thing. So yeah, I've been combat sport for 25 years, so I feel it's finally time to be a world champion.
And to continue on, your previous fight, you are coming off a loss. So how do you not think about that and move on and concentrate on the moment at hand?
You know, I've been competing for a long time. I have lost the fights, and I lost the fights in wrestling as well. After my first fight in PFL, I won. I just used like 2-3 days, then I forget about it. So why should I use more time to think about the loss? You know, we're still here. Everyone at this table and in the division got the chance to collect points and finish the fight. So I feel me and Cesar, we both won and lost the fight, but we still finished our fight. So we deserve to be here.
Thank you.
Sophia, Zoom. We'll come back to you, Sophia. Dylan.
Hey there. Thanks for taking my call. My first question was for Antonio, because I was noticing that video with Ray Lewis there at ATT headquarters, and you had the myriad of belts in the background there. I'm curious, as much as winning gold in PFL would be a tremendous individual accomplishment, like how cool would it be to also, further bolster the collective and the great championship legacy at ATT?
I think it's really nice. I want to be part of the history of my gym too. We got a lot of champions at the facility, a lot of great fighters. I have a lot of great training partners who help me like every day. Tough guys. We always helping each other. And I want to be part of that. Bring the gold to the gym.
Appreciate the insights. And just a quick follow-up for Movlid, if I could, because I was noticing at the earlier juncture in the career, there was maybe some pronounced gaps between the fights there. And I'm kind of wondering just the, thoughts on getting that regular rate of activity in PFL, just Movlid's thoughts on fighting a few times across a few months.
Мавлид, вопрос вам. В связи с тем, что происходило, были перерывы в боях, то есть какое-то время простоя было. Как вы себя чувствуете, то, что сейчас у вас несколько боев в год случается? Рады вы, что сезон опять возобновился, и как ваш настрой?
Хоть бои не проводил, но не застаивал. У нас очень много ребят выступает с командой. Мы помогаем друг другу, постоянно держимся в форме. По поводу настроя, конечно, настроен только на победу. Психологически и физически.
I wouldn't say that I had downtime necessarily. Yes, there were no official fights, but we have big camp. We always train together. Some of my guys had fights, so I've been preparing them and training with them. So there's been a lot of work put in, regardless of lack of official fights. I'm always working on myself, whether it's psychologically or physically, to stay fit. And I'm really glad that we are back, and that's time to show what we have.
Thanks so much for the time and insights.
Harry Mack.
Harry Mack from the Bookie's Basement. First question is for Movlid. So out of all 4 featherweights on the stage, you're actually the odds-on favorite to win the belt, and yet it kind of feels like no one's really talking about you. So, you open as a -200 favorite in this fight with Brendan, but all week the money's kind of been coming in on Brendan and the price has been coming down. So I just kind of wanted to know if you feel at all like the fans and the public kind of believe in your ability the same way you do.
Movlid, еще один вопрос вам. Подходя к этому бою, считаете ли вы, что вас недооценивают? То есть были ставки, изначально Брэндон считался лучшим, потом произошло переизменение ставок, то есть сейчас уже на вас ставят как на номер 1. Считаете ли вы, что вас недооценивают и что на самом деле вам есть что показать и зарекомендовать себя как известное имя в лиге? в своей категории.
Я не думаю, что меня недооценивают, так как я из самой лучшей команды в мире, можно сказать, с командой с Хабиба. По поводу этого, что то Брэндона они посчитали, то они меня посчитали. Это только их мнение. А так все то, что в бою может все угодно произойти. Кто психологически, кто физически, кто, в общем, хорошо подготавливается, тот и может хорошо выложиться в бою.
I don't really pay attention to that. Again, yeah, we're definitely gonna show. When Khabib started, it was the same way. Maybe he was underestimated, and then he showed his best. We trained together. I kind of get the same mentality. It's all about psychological approach. You don't have to pay attention what's the noise out there. It's all about grinding and putting your work in, and then just showing your results by your fights, going out there and proving that you're number one.
Got it. Thank you. And on the other side, Brendan, kind of the same question, but flipped. So you opened as a fairly sizable underdog at plus 175, but the money's been coming in on you all week. So do you think that there's something special about you or this matchup that kind of has people so eager to throw their money behind you?
What, you mean the fact that I'm the top seed? I mean,
I could do it.
Something special about me. I don't know. That I'm 4-0 in PFL. This is my 5th fight. Like, I mean, come on. Stop sleeping on me, guys. I mean, the guy's a great fighter. There's no doubt about it. But let's not forget, he has lost. Like, I know the guy popped for steroids, but I mean, he did lose a fight. I'm a striker. Pineda was a striker. We're all forgetting it. I mean, I don't understand how all these betting sites have me such a massive underdog. I really don't.
Got it. And for Bubba, so you're a former Brave champion, but you're now one fight from an opportunity to compete for the PFL title and for that $1 million. So despite all the past accolades, does this kind of feel like it's the biggest fight of your career for you?
Every next fight is the biggest fight of your career. You get to 5 fights untouched, then you have changed the trajectory of your MMA career. Every 5 fights untouched changes something for you in your career. So I've always looked to get to the 5th, untouched. I'm on 6 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Takes 7 to be a world champ. That's all I know.
Got it. And lastly, for Chris, as a Long Island guy myself, is there anything? What is it? Do you think about this area that kind of produces so many high-level fighters, or maybe there's something in the water that just our brains aren't quite wired correctly? I don't know.
You know what? I've always thought about that, and I think that Long Island's such a different place because we were talking about this. My coaches and I just hanging out after a workout. If we were our own state, we'd be like 12th in population in the country. So the competitive nature of just jobs, of schools, scholarships, and day-to-day life to get ahead is just frankly higher than it is in some other places. So I think that it breeds us right away. We come out kind of running where you have to do a lot to get ahead there. The cost of living's really high and no one feels bad for you over there. It's people climbing over each other. So I think that that's what makes us very tough and produces a lot of fighters in the sport.
I like the take. Thank you all very much for your time. Best of luck on Friday.
Mark Manier.
Hi, my question is for Brendan. And, you have a upcoming fight against an undefeated fighter in the tournament who is, as a lot of people have said, is the favorite. And does that undefeated record give you extra motivation to kind of come in here, put a stamp on your record by getting another finish and saying like, hey, I'm the #1 seed. I don't care if you're undefeated or not. Like, I'm coming in here to take this belt.
If you look down my record, there's numerous undefeated fighters on there. This isn't, this guy's a great fighter. I mean, everyone's just putting him on a pedestal. I mean, but are you all taken away from what I've shown in this tournament and how good I've been in this tournament and what I've done in my journey and my life? So, I mean, yeah, again, let's not forget, I'm the #1 seed. Movlid's a great fighter, but I am the #1 seed. So let's go.
Thank you, Brendan. And also, I have one more question for you as well. you're known as being not in being known as a wrestler, but your defensive wrestling was showcased very well in that fight against Tyler Diamond. Is this another opportunity for you to showcase that you're not only a striker, you're a complete mixed martial artist, and this is a great test for you to test that defensive wrestling?
Listen, when I signed up for PFL, I wanted the 4 hardest fights en route to the finale, and I feel like I've had them. You know, Shaman, great striker, then Tyler, really tested my wrestling. And if you look down my career again, I've probably hit the mat and been on the floor probably 4, maybe 5 times in my whole career. And the only reason I ended up on my back in the last one is because I got tired and started overcommitting my punches, making silly decisions in the fight, really. Whereas this one's going to be extremely disciplined. I've got my coach back in my corner, and we've come for business.
Thank you, Brendan, and all the best of luck to you. My next question is for Chris Wade. Chris, you know, you're coming into this fight, and I've talked to you on my podcast before. A lot of people may have doubted you coming into this, you know, semifinal and into the finale. Is this an opportunity for you? Like, you've gotten a knockout in your career in this tournament, the first knockout of your career against Bubba, a guy who's known as, you know, a champion wrestler, and you're a high school champion in wrestling as well. Is this an opportunity for you to showcase you should never have been doubted at all in this tournament, and that you're coming in to put a stamp on this tournament by finishing off Bubba Jenkins?
Absolutely. It's a huge opportunity. It's an opportunity for my legacy. It's an opportunity for my family, for my daughter. And I intend to make the most of this opportunity. I feel like I've been slighted based on what I've accomplished in the last 2 seasons here, and that it hasn't been appreciated at all. And my intent is to just show people that they made some really bad decisions when they sat down in meeting rooms. And, you know, some people don't do so well in kind of a vindictive or, you know, that comeback mentality, but I do. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I was overlooked, and that now it's time to show people that they made mistakes.
Thank you, Chris. All the best of luck to you. And I have one final question for Bubba Jenkins. Obviously, you're coming into this fight a former Brave world champion, a decorated wrestler. Do you find this fight as an opportunity for you to showcase, you know, you're not only a wrestler, we've seen it in your fights before, you have good switch stances, good combinations on the feet. Is this a fight where you want to test your striking just to showcase like, hey, I am a good striker, I can finish people off. I know I'm known for my wrestling, but I'm coming in here to put a show on the feet as well?
Yeah, I'm going to be showing all facets of my game. I'll throw the kitchen sink. I'll be a wrestler. I'll be a karate mixed martial artist. I'll be a Muay Thai specialist. I'll be what I need to be when the fight comes to me. At the end of the day, I got more heart. So it's not going to matter. I get my hand raised regardless. But I do value the opportunity to fight the opponent that I have, because it will allow me to show my striking.
Thank you, Bubba. Best of luck to you.
Jim Barcelona.
Jim Barcelona, Miami Herald. Cesar, what is it like training down here? And there are so many training facilities, well, 3 that come to mind that are so good here in South Florida, and you chose MMA Masters Miami. I just wondered, what was your decision to train there?
Well, I choose MMA Master because of my point of view, they do such a great job, one of the best gyms, you know, and I see this sport is like a single sport, so there's no reason to be training group all the time. And on MMA Master, I have like such a great service. They treat me as an individual, a lot of one-on-one, you know, focus on my skills. And yeah, that's why I really like MMA Master. Cesar Carneiro and Denova Verde, they really do a good job.
And for Antonio, between American Top Team and Sanford MMA and MMA Masters, we've had 7 fighters reach the semifinals of PFL MMA. And I know they were talking about Long Island a little earlier, but what can you say about the training down here in South Florida and all the different fighters and coaches that are here, especially at American Top Team?
Yeah, as I said, training here is great. You know, I think I got I have a good pick choosing American top team. We have a great team. I used to live in Brazil, so Florida is pretty close to Brazil. Every time I want to go, like see my family, my friends, I can go. It's pretty close, like 7 hours straight flight, and the weather is almost the same. Everything's almost the same. So I feel in home. Sometimes I think like Miami is the best city from Brazil. There's a lot of Brazilians around, so. As I said, I feel home.
Thank you.
Last question for Alex.
Is Alex Bean from K-Side Press. And my first question is to Brendan. I just wanted you to talk about your time at Syndicate MMA.
Yeah, so I did my camp for Shaman in Dubai. Then I did the Tyler Diamond camp at Alliance, and Vegas seems to be the hub right now. It really does. Everyone's there. There was much more 45ers. I was training at 10 Planet. I also, like I said before, brought in some fantastic wrestlers, Frank Hickman and Roman, and I really trained hard for this fight. I mean, I could not have done any more. I've left all blood, sweat, and tears in there. Shout out to John Wood at Syndicate MMA, who overlooked the whole camp. And between him and the coach that I've had from day one, I mean, I think we've got a great team.
Awesome. Thank you. And then finally for Antonio Carlos Jr., you said that one of the reasons why you joined PFL was because you weren't a fan of trash talk and theatrics. How has your experience been so far?
Man, really great. I've been talking this a lot, I'm not the real like trash talking kind of guy, I actually cool with people, I like people, so I don't have any hate, on my heart. So I just here to do my job, to do what I love to do, what I pick to do. So just feeling great, man. I think this is the PFL is more like a sport, than just entertainment. I love this.
Awesome. Thank you and good luck.
All right. Thank you to all of the media. Thanks, obviously, to the fighters for participating. We're going to clear the stage. We're going to bring everyone back out for some face-offs to wrap things up here at the press conference. Remember, we start an hour later on Friday night. We'll be on at 6:30 for the ESPN Plus card here on the East Coast, and then we go late on ESPN2 at 10 p.m. Eastern. Great fights. Let's take one more look at our featherweight brackets as we clear the stage. The 1-versus-4 matchup, you heard what they had to say. Brendan, Loughnane, Movlid, Khaybulaev. That promises fireworks. Two big-time finishers there. Chris Wade and Bubba Jenkins, you saw just a little inkling of the animosity between these two fighters. And they will be squaring off with an opportunity at earning a berth in our 2021 PFL World Championship. From there, we go to the light heavyweights, the big boys. I'm partial to this weight class as a former champion here myself. Antonio Carlos Jr., Emiliano Sordi, Brazil versus Argentina, and then Cesar Fejera and Marthin Hamlet. Two guys in a very interesting position. Big-time finishes in their first regular season bouts, but now looking to bounce back off of losses, both of them. The regular season playoff and championship format affords fighters that opportunity, just like baseball teams, basketball teams, pro football teams. You don't have to win everything to make the playoffs, but everything's still on the line in the semifinals. 6:30 to 10 Eastern on ESPN Plus. 10 p.m. to the early morning hours on ESPN2. Featherweights and light heavyweights. Oh, and by the way, the ESPN2 show will be simulcast on ESPN Plus. We're certainly not going to leave you hanging. Without further ado, we'll bring out the man who put these rosters together. President of fighter operations here in the Professional Fighters League, Sugar Ray Sefo. We begin our playoffs in the light heavyweight division. Out of the blue corner, Marthin, Hamlet. His opponent, the number 2 seed, Cesar Fejera. Our second light heavyweight semifinal. Fighting out of the blue corner, Antonio Carlos Jr. And his opponent, 2019 PFL light heavyweight champion, Emiliano Sordi. From there, we head to our featherweight semifinals. Introducing first, Bubba Bad Man Jenkins. And his opponent out of the red corner, Chris Wade. And in our main event, featherweight semifinal, fighting out of the blue corner will be Brendan Loughnane. And representing Dagestan, Russia, Movlid Khaybulaev. One more look at our PFL semifinals, featherweights and light heavyweights. Those are your 4 main card bouts. Win or go home for the 145-pounders and the 205ers. The third of 3 straight playoff weeks wraps up on Friday night here at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. 2019 PFL light heavyweight champion Emiliano Sordi is back. Movlid Khaybulaev still undefeated. Will Brendan Loughnane hand him a defeat? We find out Friday.